Welcome to Little Owl Literacy. Today we're going to be talking about during reading activities. In a previous video, I talked about the importance of doing pre, during, and post-reading activities, and that there's a myth that the perfect reading session means that you sit down with your child, dive into the book, have them read it from page 1 to the end, and that's it. It's actually not as helpful as people think it is. What really helps is to stop periodically and ask questions and have conversations about the text. So while you're reading the book, you want to stop every few pages and ask questions to see if your child is comprehending the text. Fluency and word recognition do not necessarily equate to comprehension. If those skills are not married, then your literacy skills are going to be really wonky. You really need that comprehension to be there. So don't be afraid to stop and ask questions, especially if you feel like your child is just droning. Blah, 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 that sort of thing. If there's no emotion, if there's no connection that you're seeing, definitely stop them and ask them, what's going on in this story? What do you think is happening right now? Why do you think that character said that? Why do you think that just happened? If the book has pictures or illustrations in it, stop every couple of pages and ask them what they think of the artwork. Maybe it brings some memories or feelings to them. Maybe they really enjoy some of the color work. Maybe they find that they really enjoy the style of the artist. Maybe if they're artistically inclined, it might inspire them to want to draw their own picture. And also think about the fact that a lot of the pictures give cues to the story. So they may be at a level where they're reading the words and not quite comprehending the text, but if they put the text together with the picture, and if they really take a minute to look at that picture, they're going to start to create that understanding, and that will be very helpful for them as they develop their levels of comprehension. Now, some kids might become distracted while you're reading. There are all kinds of distractions in this world. Your phone might go off, they might get bored and want to play a video game. So there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of reroute things. The first thing you want to try is the simplest intervention possible, which is just to remove the distraction if you can, and ask them something very specific about the book. Can you point to the character of the mama bear in this picture? Or can you point to the letter O or the word owl if they are able to do that? So find something specific on the page that they can look for to try to bring their focus back in. A lot of times it's as simple as that, and they'll just be able to refocus and continue on with the activity. If they're not able to do that, however, and they're really exhibiting signs of major boredom, it might be time to just cash it in and put the book aside and decide to revisit it later, unless you can get them to pick another book. So before you decide to end the reading session, ask them if they would prefer to read another book. And just say it like that so that they know that that's the expectation, and not like, should we do something else right now? Because then they're going to want to go play a video game. If you can get them engaged into another book, make sure you start the process all over again with pre-reading. And if you feel like the pre-reading time kind of stretched out too much with the previous book, you can kind of compress it a little bit, make it faster so that you get into the story and perhaps bypass that boredom that they might hit midway through the book. So don't be afraid to stop and ask your kid questions, and encourage them to ask questions of you as well. Also, don't be afraid to read the book for them. If they're struggling with a word or a passage, say, would you like me to read the next page? And then they might want to read the page after that, and you can go back and forth. They might want you to read the whole rest of the book. That's okay. As long as they're engaged, it's okay. It's still helping them develop literacy skills. So don't get hung up on all the shoulds and what you think it's supposed to look like. Let it evolve organically, and let your child's behavior and feedback instruct how you proceed.